What's up, duelists? Today, another replay from the Ribbit Series 1. We've got, I think, a top 32 replay between That Good Pizza and Eric Loca 1996. If you guys have been enjoying this sort of coverage, if you guys haven't been enjoying this sort of coverage, either way, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if there's, something you want to see, something specific. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep covering shit that I think is cool, and, here we are. Here we are. Probably do some gameplay stuff. There's another Ultimate Guide coming out this week, so look forward to that stuff. If you guys want to become a member, you know the vibes, the vibes. All right, on to the game. Eric Loca won the rock paper scissors. I believe he picked paper, and That Good Pizza picked rock. Eric Loca with the malicious sleeves, and he is on Blackwings. That Good Pizza on Dark Dragons with Sky Scourge Norleras. Spoilers. Eric Loca's hand looks a little... it looks alright. You got Dark Bribe Oppression. That's pretty good against some decks. And then you got Bora Kalut. I don't hate this. Let's go ahead and see what he does. Probably just set 2, summon Bora. Yep. Okay, draw for the turn for That Good Pizza is Dark Horse. Let's see what he finds off Upstart. Finds Card Destruction. Alright, elects to go for the Giant Trunade. I wonder why. Maybe because he wants to Card Destruction away his opponent's back row, but you're doing that at -1. I don't know about this one. This one's a little sus for your boy. Because you don't really have plays. So you're like just Giant Trunading just to clear the back row and then Card Destruction at it, I guess. Anyway, it works out well for him because Eric Loca does Dark Bribe. That Good Pizza is able to get a quick Swifty +1. Then he goes for the Card Destruction after drawing another copy of Red Eyes Wyvern. Keep in mind, these Red Eyes Wyverns can reanimate themselves, so there is going to be an active monster in That Good Pizza's graveyard. After this Card Destruction resolves, nothing is stopping this Card Destruction. That's going to get rid of this Kalut too, which is pretty big for That Good Pizza, but it is going to put 3 Darks in the grave. He's got to be careful of something like Dark Arm Dragon, maybe? Speaking of Dark Arm Dragon, That Good Pizza finds his own Dark Arm Dragon, as well as a Phantom of Chaos, Necrogardener. Probably going to gun this Upstart as well. Yep, and that finds the 3rd Red Eyes Wyvern. That's really, really unfortunate. This is not the best card to draw. It's like one of the few quote-unquote garnets of the deck. Obviously, it is still a beat stick. It is still something you can use to summon Red Eyes Darkness Metal from hand. But drawing all 3 of them is not ideal if I'm going to keep it a stack. Something That Good Pizza could do here is they could use Phantom of Chaos to copy the Dark Refer, pitch Necrogardener, and then send something like a Plague, and then special summon their Dark Arm. They could go all in. But the opponent's at 10,000, They have 3 cards in hand, 3 fresh cards. Maybe not ideal to do that. Especially because it plays into Bottomless, it plays into Book, it plays into Oppression. And then you're just, taking a big hit over your Phantom from the Bora, maybe even getting screwed by Ashura. So I think he makes the right play here and doesn't actually go for it. Just tries to utilize his Wyvern. And honestly, it's good too, because if there was a Bottomless Trap Hole or a Kalut or something, it'd probably be stopping this Wyvern. This is also good because it does put Eric Loca to 4 Dark, so he'll need something like a Blizzard in order to Grave Manipulate to turn on Dark Arm Dragon at this point. So I like this play from That Good Pizza. I think it's very, very strong play. It's like, we're going to use my weaker cards, maybe use my Garnets to try and press through back row first, and then go for my power moves later once the back row's gone. Goldstark's for Heavy Storm here, speaking of clearing back row, wants to make sure that his Phantom of Chaos Dark Arm move does resolve, and also knows that if he's going to win this game at any point, he's going to need to get through like Icarus attacks, he's going to need to get through Black Whirlwinds and stuff, so Heavy Storm's just a really good start. It's also something that might incentivize Eric Loca to play his back row a little more aggressively, and also might incentivize him to not set so many back row in the next 2 turns. Eric Loca's hand's really good here. I'm thinking he'll probably normal Shura with the Whirlwind, search Gale, have the Red Eyes Wyvern, go Armor Master Stardust, and then protect his back row from the Heavy Storm he knows is coming. That's a move that I'm thinking about making here. You could also go Shura, search Kalut, but that's like, you don't get the Armor Master Stardust plus Silverwind follow-up in grave. Searches the Gale. Let's see if he's going to go for that. Specials the Gale, but then it elects to activate the Mind Control. I'm going to be honest. I think this is a bad play. I think this is a misplay. Because taking with Mind Control here when you don't need to at all, not only does it make your M board worse. Let's talk about the M position. But it also, you lose your Mind Control. And Mind Control in this matchup is really good. You can take like a Phantom of Chaos, you can take a Dark Arm Dragon, you can take Dark Creator even. You can take like a lot of really high impact stuff, or you can use it later in the game when that good pizza's at lower life to go for a big push. You're already going to get a lot of damage in this turn. You don't need to use the Mind Control to get in the damage this turn. You don't need to use it to clear a monster because this Red Eyes Wyvern you can get over anyway. I think it's a misuse of resources using this Mind Control right here from Eric. He's probably going to attack directly for 31, then main phase 2 make a synchro, but I don't really like this play. Your end board's going to be Shura plus Armor Master as opposed to Stardust plus Silverwind to help combat the upcoming heavy storm that you know about. You also don't even have to go for the Silverwind in your main phase 2. You could just wait till the next turn to go for it, which gives you follow-up through some sort of like crazy board sweeper like a Dark Arm Dragon or something. So I don't know. I think Stardust Mirror Force is almost impossible for that good pizza's deck to break sans like Norleras, and getting the Vayu Silverwind engraved through a Norleras is also super huge. So I think this is a pretty massive misplay for a lot of reasons. It's suboptimal in almost every single way. You do get a little bit more damage in, but that doesn't really matter. This isn't even a 2-turn clock, right? This is only 4,300 coming on the next turn. So it's the same clock, realistically. And it doesn't allow Eric Loka to set the Mirror Force, which is, you know, pain. Suffering even. Draw for good pizza's Upstart Goblin. Gonna go for that. Put Eric Loka all the way up to 10,900. I wonder if that good pizza's gonna be able to kill through all that. And picks up Cold Wave. That's a little awkward. It's a little awkward. Would like to activate that Cold Wave this turn, but can't. That good pizza is going to be forced into setting the Necrogarna. Let's see if that's what happens. Yep. And that's a way to, you know, play around stuff. Okay, summons Kalut. Again, I don't really like this play. Because of the set Necrogarna, because of the weakness in the position, Eric Loka can kind of correct the mistake he went for last turn, which is he can get the Vayu now by running this over with Shura, whatever set, and he can make the Stardust and then have the Silverwind follow-up. Alternatively, he can go for lethal by just Shura over this, special summon Kalut from deck. Kalut plus Armor Master plus the second Kalut is game. So I think summoning the Kalut is not necessary, right? Because Black Whirlwind Searching Blizzard, it's not improving your position, right? You're going to lose just the same. You can always summon the Kalut main phase 2 if the monster you run over is Necrogarna or if they have Gores or something. You can always like do this play in the main phase 2, so there's no real reason to summon it main phase 1 here. I think that's a pretty big mistake. Black Whirlwind Search for Blizzard the Far North. Let's see if that mistake comes back to bite Eric Loka here. Shura's going to attack over the Necrogarna. Necrogarna's going to summon the Vayu, in attack position, of course. And see, now you don't even represent lethal because you had to search the Vayu to convert. I guess you weren't representing lethal anyway because of the Necrogarna, but you could at least force the Necrogarna if you searched Kalut here. Yeah. Anyway, 800 direct, 1,400 direct, and then the 2,500. Honestly, that Pizza can just take it, and he does. Saves the Necrogarna. He says, you know what? This Necrogarna is going to be important on a following turn. Maybe I leave a Phantom of Chaos face up. Maybe I need that Necrogarna, so he leaves it like that. Next turn, he's getting the Heavy Storm, but this turn, Eric Loka is going to be able to make the Stardust Dragon, which is good for him. And this is good too because the Armor Master will hit the grave if a Norleras happens, and then he'll still have the Vayu Blackwing Armor Master into Silverwind follow-up. Unfortunately for him, that good pizza has picked up Cold Wave, which is a pretty big card here in this position. I must admit, that good pizza is at 3 darks. So, Cold Wave plus Dark Arm Dragon is in the near future. None of these back rows can be activated. Keep in mind, too, on the next turn, this Black Whirlwind also cannot activate because of the way Cold Wave works. Dark Arm Dragon's going to come down. It's going to attack over the Stardust Dragon for 300 points, and it's going to banish the Dark Horus to pop the Armor Master. Then, sets Phantom of Chaos. Okay, so here's what I do and don't like about this play. You set Phantom of Chaos, right? You know the hand is Blizzard the Far North. So, Blizzard the Far North is Bryonic, right? So, instead of setting Phantom of Chaos, because you do have Necrogarna to protect from the Bryonic thing, and you have Necrogarna to also protect from Goyo Guardian Crash, instead of setting the Phantom of Chaos here, which could potentially give Eric Loka lethal if the top deck is something like Bora, I would maybe consider using the Wyvern to summon the other Wyvern instead and holding the Phantom of Chaos. And then the Phantom of Chaos on the follow-up turn can become a Dark Arm Dragon, in case your board does get broken. I don't know if it's going to end up mattering or if that's like something that Eric Loca, or not Eric Loca, if That Good Pizza is thinking about, if he even knows he can summon Wyvern off Wyvern, but it would have been something I would at least have considered using Wyvern as a blocker. You have 3 in your grave, right? Like, it's also in defense position, it's safe from a Bora Pierce, whereas Phantom of Chaos isn't, really. So, I guess we'll see what the draw is for Eric Loca to see if that ends up biting him. The draw's Deep Prison can't be set because of Cold Wave. Blizzard of the Far North going to be summoned. It's going to special summon back Shura. Black Whirlwind can't activate to search any sort of Vayu shenanigans because of the Cold Wave. And I don't know if Eric Loca's on 2 copies of Vayu. That's like not a super common thing for these types of decks. Blackwing Armed Wing is going to be able to force the Necrogarna. And let's see. Oh my goodness. Eric Loca didn't go for the Silverwind to force the Necrogarna and clear the Dark Arm Dragon. That has to be a mistake, right? That just has to be a mistake, not going for Silverwind in main phase 1. Let me see. Is there even any way that this could have been lethal? No, I don't think through the Necrogarna that it could have been lethal. But I do think it's a pretty big mistake not trying to clear the Dark Arm Dragon. You don't really have ways to do that, like an Icarus attack or anything set. That good piece is going to be able to untap with the Dark Arm Dragon, and it's going to be able to pop the Armed Wing. So I don't really like that. I don't really like that at all, honestly. Yeah, that's rough. That's really, really rough. I think you should definitely try to clear the Dark Arm Dragon here with the Silverwind. Letting Eric Loca have that is going to be so bad for you. That's going to give him, like, all the positioning. Or not Eric Loca. Sorry. Letting That Good Pizza have that is going to be so bad for your positioning. Cold Wave into Heavy Storm. A brutal 1-2 punch. Especially now that the Stardust Dragon is gone. Can't protect all of the set cards that Eric Loca had. Oof. Hate to see that Mirror Force go. And now, trade-in for the Dark Creator. Heads up play going for the Heavy Storm before the trade-in, I think. Draws another trade-in and another Dark. Oof. And Dark Greffer. I don't know if That Good Pizza is going to be able to kill off of this turn, but they are going to be able to remove this Phantom of Chaos that I think they hastily put into play over the Wyvern. If they had summoned the Wyvern a few turns back instead of setting the Phantom of Chaos, I think they might have been able to do something this turn bigger. Maybe not killed, but definitely able to do something bigger here. Otherwise, this Dark Arm is going to have to pop the Phantom of Chaos, which you could do. I mean, you could do, like, that's not the weirdest thing in the world. Let's see what That Good Pizza does in order to navigate this position, in order not to let his opponent kill him since he's so low and he no longer has the Necrogarna for protection. Flips Phantom. Okay. Phantom's going to copy, I assume, the Dark Creator? Okay. Copies the Dark Creator. Activates that again. Maybe that's going to be Norleras, banish the Norleras, special summon Greffer in defense. Okay, this is going to be his protection from a top deck Bora. Instead of committing the Greffer that's in his hand into attack position and then being dead to the Vayu plus Armor Master or Vayu plus Armed Wing in the graveyard. Dark Greffer is going to pitch, I have to imagine the other Dark Greffer, right? Yep, and that's going to send Plague. Plague's going to stack the Dark Creator. That Good Pizza is going to make yugioh Guardian, I believe. Dark Arm Dragon pop. Again, don't want to die to a top deck Bora, so you don't really want to steal this Blackwing Arm Wing in defense position. So this is really heads up play from That Good Pizza. He's playing around absolutely everything right now. Now he has 2 2800 monsters, and this Dark Arm Dragon is running away with the game. I mean, he still would have been able to break everything because of the Heavy Storm plus Synchro play, but he would have been forced to do something like yugioh Guardian, take the Armed Wing, and then he would have been dead to a Bora. So not clearing the Dark Armed on the previous turn with the Silverwind is a pretty big mistake from Eric Loca. That's going to pop. This is going to be a 2-turn clock. Yeah, 2-turn clock. Here comes the Silverwind now, but it's too little too late. This Deep Prison might help Eric Loca stabilize for another turn, but That Good Pizza still has these Wyverns. And actually, last turn, because That Good Pizza didn't special summon, they could have brought back the Wyvern again. I mean, they could have represented a lot more threats than just these two. Goyo's going to attack into... No. Why isn't Eric Loca deprisoning the Yugioh? I don't get that. Why didn't he deprison? Wait, what? If he deprisons the Yugioh, he's fine, right? Well, not fine. I mean, he still needs to find a monster, but why didn't he remove it? And now in the end phase, That Good Pizza is going to get back the Red Eyes. Ooh, didn't even think about that. Dark Greffer pitch the Creator, get the Red Eyes. That's big. That's actually really big. Summoning the Red Eyes in defense. Eric Loca top decks Dark Arm Dragon. Not going to matter. That's going to be curtains. One D prison is not going to be enough to stop this game. But I think there was definitely a lot of plays, particularly preserving the mind control, going for the Stardust earlier on, being able to set up the Mirror Force, crashing with the Dark Armed turn earlier. Just all of these little things, I think, were pretty big mistakes from Eric Loca, and I think they actually cost him the game. I think he would have been in a much better position to take things on, like maybe with this D prison, maybe with the other stuff, if he hadn't let That Good Pizza capitalize off of all of his cards to the most. And I think That Good Pizza played this game exceptionally well. The only thing he maybe missed was Wyvern summon Wyvern, which understandable. Most people don't understand that Wyvern can summon Wyvern, so that's like a pretty corner case thing. Anyway, going to game 2, Eric Loca is going to get to go first. Let's see what he draws. He draws DD Crow, which is big in this matchup. He also draws a lot of monsters, which is going to be good. If you look at That Good Pizza's hand, he's got one copy of Royal Decree, which is a side-in card. Both these players drawing one of their side cards. You love to see it. And he's got a few draw spells, which maybe can turn on his hand, but his hand's pretty weak. It needs a lot to go right in order for anything to really happen here. And Eric Loca is going to be able to kill him pretty quickly, depending on how he sequences the next few turns. So, in Eric's mind, picks up another copy of DD Crow. That's pretty good, especially against the Phantom of Chaos stuff. That's gonna be huge for him this game. In Eric's mind, he can play all 3 of these monsters on the second turn of the game, so there's no real reason to commit any of them yet, and I understand that. I respect it. So he's not gonna summon anything, I don't think, this turn, or at least I wouldn't summon Bora, because then it cuts off your Sirocco. Looks like he elects not to do that. That Good Pizza is gonna pick up Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Okay, that's a piece of the puzzle. That's something that could turn into a big threat, especially with the Royal Decree in hand. Starts off with the Allure, finds Plague upstart. I wonder if That Good Pizza banishes Plague or Necrogardna. If I'm That Good Pizza, well, Plague probably isn't super great in this matchup, right? It's Shura food, it's Bora food. It's not something you really want to put into play. It kind of plays into oppression. It locks your draws, especially when you have a hand that's like you're trying to draw more stuff. I don't know if I think Plague is as good as Necrogardna in this matchup, because being able to protect, I don't know, just a monster on a crucial turn. Maybe they go for something like a Sirocco Pump, or a monster attacks and, they have Kalut, you can Necrogardna and then destroy their monster on your turn or something. So I think Necrogardna is a little bit more high impact in this matchup than Plague Spreader, but it's really marginal. Might want to keep the Plague Spreader just to give yourself access to Synchros. I don't know. We'll see what he banishes. You definitely keep the Red Eyes, though. You definitely keep the Red Eyes, because that's your game plan. As of right now, Red Eyes is your game plan. Banishes the Plague. Values the defense a little bit more than the Synchro offense. I think maybe because you have the Decree, you can keep the Plague, but it's really marginal. It's really, really marginal. Upstart Goblin is going to find Red Eyes Wyvern. Okay, so the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon is now live. If I'm That Good Pizza, I'm thinking, all right, that's my game plan. I'm going to summon Red Eyes Wyvern. I'm going to banish it for Red Eyes Darkness Metal. I'm going to set Royal Decree, maybe set Necrogardna. Probably not, though, because you don't want to feed Ashura. And you don't want to turn on Sirocco. Oftentimes, if a Blackwing player just passes, they'll have something like Black Whirlwind Sirocco. And you want to do whatever you can not to activate that until it doesn't matter. I wonder if he's going to Foolish anything. You could, on your next turn, go Flip Decree, right? Red Eyes, Foolish the Horus, get in for 5,800, do some crazy shit that way. So I think That Good Pizza's just going to set Decree and pass. Yep, and that's what he does. Okay, the draw's Bottomless Trap Hole for Eric Loca. A little awkward. Generally speaking, you want to have Bottomless Trap Hole on the first turn and Deprison on the second turn. I wonder if he's going to set that Bottomless Trap Hole here. Maybe play into something like a Sweeper. Eric Loca elects to go for Bora here, noticing that his opponent's not going to let him play the Sirocco, and noticing that you want to get things going before his draw engine gets too live. So Bora potentially Gale? Let's see if we see the Gale. So he does go for the Gale. There's an argument to saving the Gale, right? If the opponent's hand is a little weaker, a little slower, the Bora is enough pressure alone, right? Plus you have Deprison Bottomless, which helps keep your Bora alive and active. So you don't need to play the Gale just yet. You can save the Gale as a way to answer maybe a bigger monster that gets over your Bora. But you could also just get an Armor Master into play now. And with Plague gone, Armor Master is pretty good against the Dragon deck. Their only outs are Norleras, right? Which you have 2 DD Crows for the Phantom of Chaos. Or Dark Arm Dragon, which again, you have 2 DD Crows. They have 0 Darks Engrave. So they're pretty far off from both of those things. And Armor Master is a house. This gives more damage up front. And it does get an Armor Master in play, so I like this. I like this play here from Eric Loca. Attacks for 3,000, says you got to do some shit. Sets the Bottomless. Elects to set the Bottomless into something like a Pro Heavy Storm. I don't think you need to set the Bottomless. I know that's kind of crazy, but like, there's not really much you need to bottomless here. You have the crows for the deep prison, and I would definitely have like a set heavy storm on my opponent's on my radar for my opponent. Maybe playing into something like a sweeper, but it doesn't end up mattering because it's a decree either way. But I do think that setting the bottomless here is something you should maybe consider. Maybe consider for sure. End phase decree, that's unfortunate for Eric, but he does have command of the board with the Armor Master, and he still does have double DD Crow. Set Necro Gardener from That Good Pizza, understanding that any Blackwing normal summon plus a Kalut is going to be lethal, realizes, okay, I need to set this Necro Gardener now. And also realizes that going for the Red Eyes play on this turn is not great, because again, it's just, you just play it, and then they Armor Master, put a wedge counter, eventually you're losing all your monsters. He's trying to set up for maybe something where he can find a Phantom of Chaos or find a Dark Arm Dragon or something. But he needs a way to get rid of this Armor Master, and as of right now, he doesn't really have one. So he's just using the Necro Garden as like a really jank threatening roar. The draw for turn for Eric Loco was Blizzard the Far North. Really busted draw. This is going to allow him to make a 6-star synchro. I maybe would have considered going for Yugioh. Yugioh taking their monster, whatever set here. I mean, let's be honest. The damage is marginal. Blackwing Armor Master is a 2-turn clock on its own. Okay, you don't really need the extra damage. And then you take this monster, right? That gives you tribute fodder for your Sirocco on the next turn. Keeps a monster out of their grave. Overall, I'm definitely going for Yugioh Guardian here. Definitely going for Yugioh Guardian here. So I don't think there's really any reason to go for the Armed Wing. If the board gets broken, your value is going to be live because of the Armor Master anyway. So yeah, you definitely want to take that monster from your opponent. Don't give them anything to work with in their graveyard. And don't, just make it as difficult as possible for you to lose on the next turn. I think Yugioh Guardian does that, and it also gives you tribute fodder for Sirocco, which gives you Omega lethal on the next turn. Takes the damage. Here, Necro Garden is going to be forced because of, if they do have Kalut, if Eric Loca does have Kalut, then it's going to be game. Takes no damage, goes 3,500. This turn, forced to go for the defensive Red Eyes. I wonder if That Good Pizza is going to foolish what is that card called? Dark Horus here or not. If I'm him, I'm probably not. I'm probably saving the foolish to go for a Norleras. That's probably one of the few ways I'm getting back into this game, or saving the foolish to go for like a Dark Armed or something. But he likes to go for it. If you're Eric Loca here, you can just crow the Horus. And then That Good Pizza doesn't attack over the Armed Wing because of the threat of Kalut. I think you still need to attack over the Armed Wing. I think that's a mistake not to do that. Definitely a mistake not to do that. Tribute summons for Sirocco, pumps the Armor Master, and then that's going to attack over the Red Eyes for a million bajillion damage. Still another DD Crow. The draw's Giant Trunade. It's not doing anything. Going to game 3. That Good Pizza, he had a lot of his sweepers, right? But he just didn't have an out to an early Armor Master. And that's partially because he banished his Plague. He wasn't able to get a Bryonic out. Sometimes duelists will make a play to not lose the game instead of a play to win the game. Like, sure, maybe your opponent does just have 7 monsters and they Blackwing rush you and you needed Necro Gardener and you died, right? That's a defensive play to not lose the game in the chance that your opponent has those monsters. But, okay, think about it this way, right? If your opponent does have those monsters, Necro Gardener is not winning you the game. It's not getting you back in the game. It's just stalling you maybe another turn. I don't think with the hand that Good Pizza had, that stalling another turn there is really going to do anything. Whereas with the Plague Spreader, you're like, okay, my hand can beat an Armor Master if I am able to make a Bryonic. My hand can beat maybe a heavier back row hand because I have this Royal Decree. I can maybe make an early Synchro because my hand's a little inactive with like a top deck Wyvern or something. It turns on more of your draws. It makes your hand more proactive. So I think that early game allure was, it was a play to not lose the game instead of a play to win the game. And I think that's something, that's like a mindset trap that duelists get into a lot of the time. They'll make a play that's like, okay, I need this to defend myself, but defend yourself to what end, right? Defend yourself to maybe even a still lost position. Whereas maybe keeping a card that's like, okay, maybe I die to their best nut draw, but if they don't have the nut draw, at least I can mount some counterplay. At least I'm the one getting tempo on my side, getting positioning on my side. So I think maybe keeping the Plague Spreader was a game-deciding play there for That Good Pizza. Something to think about for sure. I like the way Eric Loca played the last game. I think the DD Crows are a phenomenal side-in. They do a really good job at combating all the unfair graveyard stuff that this deck's trying to do. Let's see if Eric Loca can keep up that sort of energy. Game 1 was a little messy. Game 2 was a lot tighter, a lot more good play from him. Let's see how Game 3 goes for him. The draw for That Good Pizza is pretty strong. Pretty strong. He's got 2 of the powerful limited draw spells in Allure of Darkness and Card Destruction. If I'm That Good Pizza, I'm luring away that Necro Gardener right away. No cap. No cap. Let's see if that's what happens. Ooh, actually drawing a second level 8. Maybe keeping the Necro Gardener, because you're definitely going to Card Destruction here, so there's no real upside to keeping one of the level 8s in your graveyard over keeping the Necro Gardener, except for like in the corner case situation where you're like, alright, my Wyvern is gonna find a Red Eyes, and then I'm gonna want Red Eyes and Phantom to both be live. I don't know. I think that you definitely want the Necro Gardener here. So I'm probably banishing the... Well, it depends, right? Do you think that you're more likely to find Red Eyes to summon the Dark Horse, or more likely to find Phantom of Chaos to summon the Dark Creator? I think with this hand, you're more likely to find Red Eyes, because once you Card Destruction, not only does Dark Refer give you Red Eyes, because of your Wyvern, that's going to be in your graveyard, but so does Future Fusion. So you technically have like 7-ish copies of Red Eyes, whereas you only have 3-ish copies of Phantom of Chaos. So I think I'm definitely banishing the Dark Creator here with this Allure of Darkness. And looks like That Good Pizza chooses to do that here as well. Upstart Goblin before the Card Destruction to get 1 card closer to Future Fusion. Interesting. I like it. I think it's the correct play, almost always. And it looks like it worked out. Found Trade-In, which is going to be able to pitch the Dark Horse and get even 2 cards closer to a turn 1 Future Fusion. Finds Dark Refer, Heavy Storm. Now here's a big decision for That Good Pizza. Do you set Heavy Storm, or do you go for the maximum Card Destruction? That's a tough decision, right? Because a lot of back row, something like an Icarus attack, can break your board up no matter what, even with the Heavy Storm set. Yeah, I'm probably just discarding the Heavy Storm. I'm probably just discarding the whole hand and trying to hit that turn 1 Future Fusion. And it looks like That Good Pizza does the same thing too. This is great. This is great for That Good Pizza too, because it's also getting rid of a really insane going second draw from Eric Loca. This hand would have been Black Whirlwind, plus Sirocco, plus Bora, plus Search Clue, plus Ratio, and it would have had Dark Bribe backup. It would have had, if you clear this, I have Dark Arm Dragon. So this hand going for Eric Loca is actually super rough. He even says here in the chat, I knew this was too good to be true. Lol. Yeah, it was. That's a too good to be true hand, for sure. For sure. Interesting cards found here. So Eric Loca draws into a copy of Rivalry of Warlords. I wonder why this card's in his deck post-board. In general, this is not a super common floodgate for the Blackwing deck to be playing. I do like this card. I do think it is a good card in the Blackwing deck. I think it has a lot of merit and value. It's chainable to Cold Wave. It gets value on activation, unlike things like Mask of Restrict. It doesn't conflict with Icarus attack like Mask of Restrict does. It does a pretty good job against some of the quick draw Dandelion decks that are pretty popular. It does a pretty good job against, just some of these like Kitchen Sink Dark decks, like the Absolute Zero deck. It's not too bad against that deck either. You can lock them into like Sea Serpent or something. So I do actually like the Rivalry of Warlords side a fair bit. However, I don't really like bringing it in against the Dragon deck. Let's be honest, they're going to have mostly Dragons in play at any given moment. The only time it's ever going to really be good is if they go for a Dark Creator sort of thing. And I guess in that case, sure, but then you still have to answer the Dark Creator, which is this huge monster. So I don't really love it in this matchup, because as soon as you do answer the Dark Creator, then all their Dragon stuff turns on. I don't know if I would have sided in. I wonder if this is something that Eric Loca's like, okay, I just need something that I can chain to Cold Wave that stops me from dying. And that's literally it. So, I don't know. And I also don't really love it, because Eric Loca did see that That Good Pizza was on Royal Decree in Game 2. So, maybe not the best card to side in here. Maybe he just had a dead card that he wanted to swap out, something that he couldn't chain to Cold Wave, but I still think it's kind of sus. Little sus. On the other hand, we do see all of these micro decisions to maximize all of the drawing. Like, let's say That Good Pizza had set Heavy Storm here. All of a sudden, he's not drawing this 5th card, which is the Sky Scorcher Norleras, which turns on this hand. All of a sudden, that's happening. Potentially, though, the trade-in's not even getting activated this turn. I'm really curious to see how That Good Pizza wants to sequence this. If he goes for the trade-in, he's like, okay, I want to find Future Fusion. Okay, maybe my Dark Arm won't be live. But then again, his Dark Arm is gonna be live even if he does trade in, just because the Necro Gardener can be activated even if a monster doesn't attack on the opponent's turn. So no matter what, I think you do go for the trade-in here. just because no matter what, you're going to have Decree Dark Armed. So I think That Good Pizza is gonna trade in here. Oh, they Foolish first. Foolish to deck thin. This is a little bit of an aggressive play. I guess if you Foolish Red Eyes, you can get it back in the end phase and have Decree to back it up. And Necro Garden as well. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. You see your opponent does have Bora the Spear in graveyard. So Blizzard, Kalut, Sirocco, Bora. Most of their deck is going to answer this Red Eyes in the end phase. Except maybe not through a Decree. Maybe you're just hoping they drew a lot of traps. I'm not sure I agree with this play, but I'm not sure I disagree with it either. I wonder what the thought process is behind Foolishing this Red Eyes here. I would like to ask That Good Pizza that in the future. You know, if you're watching this video, Pizza, leave a comment below. Let me know why you Foolish the Red Eyes here. It does deck thin your deck one card for this trade-in to try and find Future Fusion. So let's see if that ends up mattering, and it does. And wow, there it is. Future Fusion off the top. That deck thinning did matter. I mean, obviously in hindsight you can't really know, whether or not it mattered. You can't really know if that was a card you would have drawn, but that's crazy. That's insane. All of that turboing, all of that drawing, going through approximately, literally 19 cards of That Good Pizza's deck, and he's able to find the turn 1 Future Fusion. Nuts. He's down 2 cards, though. He's going to have to pick those 2 cards up, but I think the Future Fusion just does that on its own, right, with the 2 Wyverns. And that's going to bring back double Red Med. Now I'm a little curious here. Is there a way that That Good Pizza can sequence this to get his Dark Arm Dragon live? Because he does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Darks now. Okay, so if you get 2 Red Eyes in play, gonna go down to 6 Darks. Oof. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with putting these in defense. I don't. And the reason I don't really agree with it, well, okay, maybe I do. Let me think. If you're gonna put them in defense, it plays around Brain Control. Okay, so it plays around Brain Control Crash, which means you're losing both Red Eyes. But putting them in defense doesn't play around Blizzard. They have 3 Blizzards, they have 1 Brain Control. Blizzard is, not as bad as Brain Control, because at most they're going to be able to, Goyo take 1 Red Eyes. But that's pretty fucking bad, I guess. Or they could Armed Wing, attack over 1 Red Eyes, hold up Kalut. I guess it's not the worst. I guess you're just saying, okay, if you have Blizzard, and I'll play around Brain Control. Because that's that. But I guess, Brain Control is going to fuck you either way, right? Because then they can just go Brain Control and then maybe attack over your Red Eyes. Maybe do something with the other Red Eyes. Maybe tribute it for Sirocco. I guess they'd have to have Brain Sirocco as opposed to, just Brain if you put them in attack position. But if you put them in attack position, it does play around Blizzard a lot better. This is interesting. I think playing around Brain Control is interesting. I think he's just playing around the worst case scenario. And I think that's really heads up play from That Good Pizza. I probably would have put him in attack. I'm going to be honest. I would have said, fuck it, you don't have Brain Control. But you know what? That's just me. All right? I would have just said, I'm going to destroy you next turn, and even a Blizzard's not going to stop me. Okay, the draw is a second copy of Rivalry. Ugh, that sucks. This hand is going to get fucked. Yeah, this is donezo. I don't think there's anything that's going to stop this from getting destroyed. 1 Book of Moon is not going to matter here. I think that's just going to be curtains. Decree in the end phase. Okay, so end main phase 1, That Good Pizza is going to activate Necrogarna. This way, even if the Shura plus Kalut attack was coming, it would get stopped. And on the next turn, he's going to be able to activate both Red Eyes, summon out 2 Darks, go to exactly 3 Darks, and then have a live Dark Arm Dragon, and then go for lethal even through, I think it's lethal through double book. Let's see here. So main phase 1, 2 Dark Horuses get summoned, and Dark Arm gets summoned. Is it lethal through double book? No, it's not lethal through double book because he's at 9,000. But it would be lethal through just a single book, which is what Eric Loka has, and that's going to be curtains. Again, a field of 5 dragons and a face-up Royal Decree against someone who boarded in multiple Rivalry of Warlords. Gotta be feeling pretty bad about that decision. At this point, gotta be feeling pretty bad about that. Anyway, That Good Pizza is going to take this match. He's going to move on to, I believe, either top 16 or top 8 in this event. If you guys haven't already watched the top 8 videos, definitely check out that. Check out the deck recaps, see who got top 8. And smash like, subscribe. Show some love for That Good Pizza's really sweet dragon deck in the RBET tournament series. E3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Signing off, everyone. Peace out.